regular council meeting.
Folks on the phone, can you hear me?
Sorry, yes, we can.
That's the city phone. I affectionately call it the bat phone.
Yeah, they want to do a presentation on the 14th for this report, so it's like, okay.
It's on. Okay, let me see. Here's.
Are y'all able to hear us on your end?
But we really haven't.
Testing on your end, Mayor Sheets. Hey.
Hey, TJ.
Did you have a good day today?
So I just got on here. Can you hear me at all?
It was not nice that I didn't serve the computer all day.
I can't hear you there. Voice, yeah. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No,
It's
okay.
weather like today.
Sorry, didn't realize you were multitasking.
Most of this week.
Well, I just unmuted it and I tried to talk to everybody on
People.
Teams and I don't know what's responded yet.
Sitting. The last 3 years, we've
Oh,
found
okay.
it before they finally went bankrupt was. Probably,
Okay,
you know,
well,
it's
there,
in
the
Portland.
light is on.
Only home in the
We see
weekend,
here.
you know, we're driving Saturday morning.
Maybe the volume's not.
I got up Sunday afternoon. And then, I was between Portland and our place in Canada. Yeah. And then, when they went bankrupt, I started working at Peace Health, and then the first 10 years I worked for them on some projects.
So what I can do is just keep testing this
wasn't
here. Tell
traveling,
me
it
if you hear
was-
anything on your
We
end.
had one period, like. 2
I've got my
years,
microphone on, my
where it
sound
was
off, so I
16
won't get the
days,
reverberation.
Okay.
8 hours on Saturday, Sunday. On a single day off for like a straight 4 weeks, 4 months. Yeah, well, what happens, you have a meeting all day, waiting up, and you're like, oh, we can get this project in 7 months. That's a 2-year project.
Okay.
So if somebody was screaming on and really nice day.
I'm turning up the volume on the speaker here.
So that was.
Hear anything?
All right, can you hear me?
No.
Can you hear me on your end?
Am I not hearing anything? No. I'm wondering if let's try this. Hold on.
Okay.
Wednesday.
I just. Go ahead and talk.
Okay, is it working now?
Can you guys hear TJ at all?
Can you hear me at all?
Awesome, no.
No, they can't hear me, huh?
Let's see here. What else do I like here? I don't know that this,
That other speaker doesn't look like it's on.
this one here,
Yeah.
it's on.
It's a slave.
Yeah, it's just a slave. Okay. Okay, I don't think. I don't know, the box here that's got the 2 antennas, does that need to be on too?
So we can hear you on you. I wonder if you can switch to just a different microphone possible,
No,
or a different speaker.
we can hear you now.
Hey, all right, bye.
It only takes a mayor and 2 city councilors, it's fine. It's fine.
That's
So
a
gotcha.
Hi, everybody. How we doing tonight?
Good.
Hi, TJ.
Can you hear us?
Hi, TJ.
Hi, there we go. And I have camera now too.
Yay.
Hi.
Wait a second. They're freezing bills on. I knew this game.
It was like. Okay. I did.
Okay, I thought so. I saw something. Yeah.
I saw.
Looking forward to retirement.
Yeah.
No, I have to pick up the day off. It's actually.
Yeah.
See if I can buy property.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get the agenda queued up for all of us.
Okay, great. I'm gonna give it. Okay, after. Okay, I'm gonna give it 1 more minute to see if we got. Counselor Evans or not. And then we'll get started. And then-
Well, I'm waiting for council comments.
There is no council comments tonight, which budget discussion and work out.
Oh, okay, I'll say now, I'll just have to see what happens. And I didn't get the deputy name, but the deputy will have.
I don't like fire, I will not.
There's a fire going down.
Take one of the last period.
It's a big work.
Yeah.
Oh, on the old road.
I'm not doing it.
Turned out the neighbor had something that must was.
He's freaking over and down over there.
So,
Well, we called the police because we had a situation. I couldn't help it. So we had to just. That's like a virus.
So my daughter went for a formal, I could have done something about the boy that danced with me, her, but I did.
So you didn't make the sheriff's report, is what you're trying to tell me.
You got it.
Big jump.
TJ, are you there?
Well, I don't know if I'll be on because it's actually my neighbor.
Yes, Amy.
Oh, yeah.
I see that, Jeremy's seat. Jeremy Felty, the new counselor, he's not quite on camera. If,
Let me take
if
it.
you guys wanted to adjust it slightly.
I think we should hire one of the high school kids.
Am I doing it right?
Yes.
That's
Yep.
almost perfect. Nice.
Almost.
Ah, a little-
Except the cord's messing with me. Hang on. Have to be creative. Did we get everybody? Oh, no.
There you go. That's pretty good.
It's just gonna come back. so you can-
No.
You want to be off the line?
Yeah.
No, but-
All right. Okay, we're gonna go and get started. All right, bring our city council work session to order on this Monday, May 11th, 2026. Let's do the pledge of allegiance. The flags are behind us.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Where'd you go?
Okay, let's do roll call here. Councilor Ray. Here. Councilor Williams.
Here.
Councilor Cuthbertson.
Here.
Councilor Myers here. Councilor Kelly here. Councilor Evans, I haven't heard from her, so I'm thinking she's just gonna vote. So we'll just go ahead and proceed and she can give us these when she gets here. So we have one item on the agenda, which is the budget. I know TJ, you have some things to talk about around that, which may spur some other conversations too. So TJ, I'll let you go ahead and kick it off and we'll go from there. You on mute now, sir?
Yeah, you heard nothing I said. I'll go ahead and get it.
Sorry.
No, that's my bad. I'll get a presentation queued up here. One brief moment. So as we're coming into the middle to end stages of budget season, which really kicked off with a significant amount of work behind the scenes, looking at what was increasing, what needs to be addressed over the next year. I wanted to provide some high-level information for council as we convene the budget committee to look at trade-offs and what we want to do with the budget this year. Thought that would give me enough time to get right in to make it like a perfect transition. Here we go. I'll do it this.
No problem.
Speakers cannot handle that much volume.
Okay.
You're gonna blow over.
So can you all see my presentation here?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, good. So the goal tonight is to provide council and the public with a clear understanding of a couple of key pieces. How Oregon property taxes work, what Monroe's current tax structure allows, what revenue pressures are increasing, and what options might exist moving forward for the city. So just some basic information off the top. A lot of you already know this. Monroe's current property tax rate levies 3.5566 per $1,000 of assessed value. This has really remained unchanged for several years. The city is already levying its full permanent tax authority under Oregon law, and this means that the city really can't just simply raise operating property taxes by council action alone. Little bit of background on Oregon's property tax system. It's a little bit different here. Measures 5, 47, and 50 are historically the measures in the state, which of course make us unique. It's where permanent tax rates are capped. Assessed value grows slowly, typically at 3% per year. And cities have limited ability to increase operating tax revenue. So an important distinction, increasing home market values does not automatically mean large increases in city revenue, by the way. In many cases, city costs rise faster than revenues. Infrastructure ages faster than reserves grow, and small cities do experience increasing operational pressures. Monroe is one of those cities. If additional revenue is needed, there are a couple of places that this could come from. So there's two sides to a municipal budget. This is all really familiar to most of you. On the operational side, it's what we do day to day. On the capital side, it's what we have to build into the future. On the operational side, if more revenue is needed, we can raise utility rates. We can increase franchise fees. That's for things like utilities, like, for example, cable to operate in the city. We can increase economic growth. Those are things that the city is looking at, of course, longer term. We can restructure service. And there's also local option levies, which require voter approval. Typically, if they're project-based local option levies, they can go for 5 years. And if they're operational based, they can typically go for 10. Capital funding. If you need more capital funding, we've talked really a lot about this. This is second half for all of you. Really, grants, state appropriations, federal funding, revenue bonds, general obligation bonds, which again require voter approval, urban renewal, which we're also doing, and partnerships, which we're also doing. So these are things like water treatment plants, pipes in the ground, streets. Understanding a little bit about voter approval. If additional property tax revenue is ever desired, the city would generally need voter approval for those local option levies or the general obligation bonds. Both of those go to the voters for approval. So a little about Monroe's current position. Current strengths, stable utility operations. At the moment, we're doing okay, we're stable. Active infrastructure planning to make sure that we understand what's ahead of us. We have strong grant positioning right now. We're doing well. We're establishing strong regional partnerships, and we're increasing strategic coordination amongst our different funds and ways that we might be able to make funding be a bit more strategic within the city itself, as well as with outside organizations that might be able to support the city. Our challenges. So we, of course, as you know, we have aging infrastructure. One thing about aging infrastructure is it costs more to maintain that same unit of pipe, road, whatever it is. Each year it ages. We experience this in our vehicles as well. Limited operating flexibility. There's not a lot of different levers that we can tweak or pull to change the way that we're operating to save time or materials. And deferred capital expenses and needs. You all know this very well. We're addressing many of these right now, and we've worked very hard over this last year to identify those, name them, quantify them, and address them. We do have rising operational costs. This touches on that aging infrastructure piece, but it also touches on when we add new infrastructure, we add new homes, we talk about fixing things that we currently have to operate better and more efficiently, and so expansion is possible. Those operational costs do increase. And we also have those limited staffing capacity challenges, which, as you all know, we've been looking at and really addressing fairly well, particularly along the lines of public works, that is bringing on potentially another 0.2 FTE over this coming year to support Mark and allow for more people to come up along the certification rank listings. So those are our current strengths and our current challenges within the city. I wanted to provide a little bit of a high-level assessment also by the fund. So with the water fund itself, we have some current strengths for sure. We're doing well with strong beginning reserves. When budget committee meets, we'll have the opportunity to really dive into that. we have secured a significant grant to help with that water fund and those improvements, which is huge. Existing utility revenues do support our current operations, which is, of course, the most critical piece that I was very relieved to find. And active modernization, of course, is underway. A little bit of some emerging pressures with the water fund, increasing infrastructure complexity. So do be aware that when we improve the system and create those new operational efficiencies that are going to exist, that's going to come along with a learning curve and potentially some more complexity. Higher long-term maintenance costs potentially, especially as we start to think about adding more usage to that plant. Remember, that plant is capable of producing far more water than it currently does. And as we grow, that could happen. And as we modernize, that could happen. Growing replacement obligations and reliance on grants and reserves for major projects. So those are some of the things that I'm flagging for you now, particularly that last one. It's really common for small cities to rely on grants and reserves for major projects. And we're continuing to think a bit more about what our goals are in terms of long-term and how we become a bit more strategic in our budgeting for those projects. Sewer fund, high-level assessment. Current strengths. Also here, the existing rates support current operations. Critical key piece of information. We have a stable user fee structure at this time. We have moderate reserve capacity. And so while it could always be higher, it is within what would be a healthy range for the fund. And operations remain serviceable. That is to say that we don't have significant operational needs that are going to heavily burden our current assets or our current revenues within that fund. Emerging pressures, as you all know, and this is becoming anathema for most of our infrastructure, it's aging. The same exposures for the sewer exist for the water. Those increasing operational and maintenance costs, those are going to continue to go up, especially as we look for redundancy within the system. Now, when we talk about the main line, there's no redundancy. When we talk about sewer lines, there is, like for example, if one were to break, there may be the opportunity to reroute, but very limited potential there. So there could also be not necessarily whole system, but pieces of the system that could have challenges because we lack that redundancy within our system. And of course, that ties really into reduced flexibility for major emergency repairs as well. That is both a redundancy challenge, that is a funding challenge, as well as a manpower and resources challenge. So those are the key pieces I wanted to bring to the council this evening. Now, what I wanted to share with you, I'll turn off my presentation and just talk with you. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Okay, there's not a question. So Councilor Evans is trying to get in. I couldn't see her on our end. Can you see her on your end?
Let's see. No, I don't. Give me 1 second here. And I'm going to email Councilor Evans this meeting link right now. I know she's had challenges before as well, but give me just 1 moment. Would that be okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Go right ahead.
Okay. Okay, 1 quick second.
But I got that and we did that in graduation.
Okay, I just sent it along.
Okay, great, thank you. I went ahead and I texted her and let her know.
Okay. There is the call-in option too that she could use.
Okay, I'll let her know about the call-in option as well.
Thank you, sir. Would you like me to continue?
Let's just give her 1 minute and then we'll just continue then.
No.
It's also, let me see here, if I can text her. Well, Siri, that's already what you're doing, isn't it? You're texting.
Yeah, it's fine. She knows,
Got it.
it's just a matter of her getting in there. Good looking for a minute. Okay, let's go ahead and proceed.
I understand what's happened here. 1 second, sir. I'll go ahead and take care of one other thing, and hopefully, I think this should actually fix it.
Okay.
Sir, could you please let Counselor Evans know that I've just sent her an updated email? I think this will make life a little easier. Tell her to please log into that link.
Okay, did you just send it to her?
Just now, yes, sir.
Let's see, try. I've let her know.
Did you send her that text, sir?
I did.
Okay.
Okay, she texted me back and said she did try it.
Nope. This updated link is gonna be a different link.
Okay. Well, let's see.
There we are. Here she is.
Oh, okay, very good. Counselor Evans, welcome.
Thank
Hopefully
you.
There, yay, all right. We shall proceed now.
Thank you. So I wanted to provide a brief update to council. In addition to the high-level information I've shared, we do have, if we were to include all of the capital requests that mostly Public Works is requesting, we would have somewhere around maybe $150,000 deficit for this coming budget year, which means that we have to think about what capital assets we may not purchase, which capital assets we may have to think about purchasing later on down the road, or potentially financing over the course of the coming year. What I've asked Public Works to do is to develop a spreadsheet over the course of the past year. So this has been many months in the making, where I have asked Mark to identify all of the needs that he has financially, as well as to prioritize them really into three buckets. Can't live without, I can live without, and let's talk about it, essentially. And so what we'll be providing to Budget Committee is a menu of options, as well as an opportunity to hear from Mark and Chuck directly regarding what the trade-offs or potential consequences could be if we were to make one decision over another. Now, I also wanted to be clear that looking through the budget, there are a couple of different lines I'm excited to bring to Budget Committee when we first kick off that I've identified as unappropriated over the past couple of years, potentially substantial amounts of funds that can get returned to the general fund and redistributed potentially back to a public works fund to help fund some of those capital expenditures. Thus far, potentially somewhere in the range of about $70,000-$80,000 that I believe has never really been used for any particular purpose. But there's still going to be some challenges this year. And so my goal this evening for council is to help you understand that my job over the past several months has been to identify exactly what those costs are, not only operationally. Those are somewhat easy to identify by looking in the rearview mirror, but also capital costs. What are the big ticket, larger than $5,000 budget items that mostly Public Works is going to need? We've had an experience with this over this past year already, with, of course, the tractor, and then also the mower to a smaller extent, and some other things as well. My goal is to identify all of those prior to this coming budget season and make sure that Budget Committee and, of course, ultimately council is passing a balanced budget, which we must do, that takes into account all of the possible trade-offs before making that final decision. And you're able to convey to our departments and to the public what it is we're doing and why. So that's really the high level. I want to step back. I want to see if there are questions from council or things that I could clarify, or questions that you might have that you would like me to bring clarification on during budget process.
So there's one thing I wanted to mention, and we, as a council, we've talked about this in the past. There is property that the city has outside of the city. We could potentially sell it. Now, I don't like the idea of using it to make sure we bolster the budget up, but if there are high priority projects that need to be done for Public Works that will benefit the city and the residents, maybe we should think about looking at those properties. I'm just throwing it out. We've talked about it in the past.
Sure.
It's an option.
Spring property. Yeah, but they're really not, they don't really know all of those things.
Correct. There's also what the former haunted house was on, that piece of property.
Absolutely.
In old world, I think it has started.
And I don't know, when it first, initially we talked about it, we had also as a council I don't know exactly how far we got into it. I don't know if it's something we need to reverse or not, but we were dedicating that money to the water system because we knew we were gonna be short to be able to do the things that we needed to do for that. So there may be some things we need to reverse or do differently vote wise if we're gonna change that. I don't know how far that earmark went.
I don't think it went very far. I know that we were supposed to go out to a few of those properties and take a look and see what we were, you know, what the,
Correct.
It was actually
Never been.
pulling back.
okay.
Yeah,
This we've done this
we've
like
been doing this
two or three
for,
rounds of this.
yeah, we've been doing this for a couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great idea and a great option to keep in our back pocket, but I'm really interested in understanding what the priorities are for public works, right? Like, that's really my first step is to identify and understand what those are.
Absolutely. And that's why I took the time. You will get a spreadsheet as a separate working document that'll show all of those requests and the categorization that Public Works has assigned to them. And then you'll have the opportunity to speak with Public Works and ask clarifying questions too.
I just have another question, a clarifying question on my part, and this may not be doable, but can we receive those in spreadsheet form for the budget committee? Because sometimes it helps me to sit there and look at it. I don't know, in Excel form rather than just on a piece of paper. If not, that's okay. I just thought it can't hurt to ask.
I don't think there's any issue with that. I've never had that request, but I don't see any issue for it. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, or however, I'm sure they're doing it. Like, are you doing it in Excel? Maybe not, because you're having a.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. All of this lives in a very large, interconnected, complex Excel spreadsheet. Yes.
Well, maybe I don't want it.
No. It's not going to be that complicated. You can't break it. I could give you a copy, but that is possible.
Perfect, thank you.
Here's a clarifying question. Do we have like an inventory of the properties that the city owns?
We do.
Yes.
Love to see that, TJ.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, I can send you along the packet where, let me dig that up from the council meeting where we really started to take a look at that. There was a council meeting and a planning commission meeting with that info.
Do we have an assumed value for those properties as well?
There, at the time there was,
Yeah.
There are real market values.
yeah.
There are real market values assessed by the county, but those are not the actual market values. That's just the RMV. The AV, or the actual value, typically comes from an assessor going and identifying the property and giving a full value. That's typically one of the last steps you take once you've decided that this piece of property is going to be designated as surplus as a council action. But what you can do in the interim is assign estimate values if you do want to look at properties. Where we left off was there are several properties that have strategic value to the city in the future, and we want to think through that as a part of our comprehensive planning work before offloading all of them. Although to the points being made, I do think there are several properties that we already know and have already looked at and can very easily say that they're not going to have any particular public value. Those may be what you might call low-hanging fruit potentially in this discussion.
TJ, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we putting it on the back burner for now so that when we need money down the line, that's a option to have the money?
I don't think that was part of the strategy. That is always something that definitely you could think of as a potential financial option. That isn't like a policy direction that we have stated publicly at this time. Not necessarily, no. But council, maybe you can help enlighten Councilor Evans regarding time before she and I were here.
My understanding was those were really earmarked for the larger infrastructure issues that we're having with water and sewer. I mean, that was kind of our,
Yeah, that's what we always talked about, because we went around this so many times, but if they were going to be sold, that it was gonna be earmarked for that, because that was our biggest concern at the
Yeah,
time.
That time.
Like,
And that money could not be taken for anything else, because we were so concerned about the whole water situation. And that's why I said we just need to look back and see, because I feel like we voted on it, but I don't know when that was. It was a really long time ago.
over 10 years. Ago.
Yeah.
I mean, because when I went into the spring was in my first
Right.
tenure.
Yeah.
And I had what, a 5 or 6 year break. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time ago. And I do remember at least the 3 properties that we've mentioned here, the 2 springs and the old Spook House. Those are all tied to water. And so
Right.
that's why we earmarked them to water. I do remember that. I don't know where the boat went or the fishing, but I do know that was discussed.
Yeah, and that was me. I'm just like, I just want to
What?
make sure that we don't miss something that was already done and get ourselves in trouble. That's all.
What's nice, to make a distinction and help council think about this. The thing I want you all to realize is that this budget that we're crafting for the year 26-27, these are all those expected capital costs that we already know about and know are going to happen in this year. And so we're not going to be putting in a new water treatment, whole water treatment plant. We'll be putting in a lot of new elements with a grant. We're not going to be putting in a new sewer system, for example. When we are ready to do those things, you absolutely can sell property and bring those funds into the budget to then move forward with that capital expense when you're ready. So that isn't something that we have to bake into this discussion in this process. I want you to know that that always remains a possibility if and when you're ready to move forward and if and when we need to go down that road. What I want you to know is that I do not foresee the need to sell any property or make any drastic measures at this time to arrive at a balanced budget for the 26-27 fiscal year. What I do want to let you all know is that there may be some areas where you can press Public Works a little bit and say, is this something you absolutely need? And if you didn't get it, what would that mean in terms of daily hours, or would that increase here or there? And I think what you'll arrive at is we probably are going to be able to move forward with a balanced budget if we think strategically about this. I also do think that there's some revenue available that we might be able to return back to the general fund, as I was discussing earlier. If there is a need, let's say that there's a huge capital expenditure and there's just no way around it. Sure, we could have this discussion, and that's something that does happen every once in a while. But I want to let you know that I don't think we're in those kinds of dire circumstances. We are doing well. Operationally, we're okay. It's really on the capital end and where Mark's going to need his greatest support. And we'll come to that discussion in the next couple of weeks.
And so just to clarify for me, Chuck, I can't remember his last name, there's been too many Chucks, is Chuck the water guy, right?
Joel's, yeah.
Okay, will he be here for the presentation along with Mark?
Yes, I'll be asking him to attend that presentation. I'd like them to present together.
Perfect,
Okay, very good.
that sounds great, thank you.
Yes, and I'll also, they've met with the circuit rider. That is a person paid for by the state who is distributed out to water systems like ours. Mark has already had that meeting. They will have a couple of more, and we'll have some additional support from the Oregon Association of Water Utilities and some other technical experts as well to help them as they present to you on what they're requesting.
Thank you.
Would it?
Other questions from council?
Well, I was gonna say, we're not gonna just be talking in the budget about public works. I mean, there's other things too. You know, there's
Yes.
questions about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And ask questions that I see.
I kind of figured if there was anything any outliers, anything that you guys want to talk about before we go into budget committee, this would be a great chance to pick TJ's brain.
I just had one thing that I was thinking about is that I know we've had some compliance issues and whatnot, and I just want to make sure that we know where we're at with that, and we are not gonna get in a situation where we buy shiny things, but then we have a huge bill we have to pay because we're in trouble with something. So knowing where we stand with all that would be really nice as well, because I think that things like that have to really come first.
Thank you. Thank you so much for bringing that up, Counselor Cuthbertson. I'd like to remind council about something that we discussed very briefly a while back, and you just triggered my memory on this too, Counselor Cuthbertson, which is when I met with the Oregon Health Authority regarding our water system penalty from several years ago that is still outstanding. It's $7,500. One of the things that they let me know was that there is no enforcement mechanism that requires a city to pay that by a certain period of time. It does certainly show up on their website that we haven't paid it yet, and that's public knowledge. But there's also no accrued interest or other penalties associated with that. So what I did not include in this budget is that particular civil penalty. What I would recommend is that this council make a commitment, should it have that discussion, make a commitment to pay it by a date certain in a future budget cycle when you can plan for it very carefully and specifically, and notify OHA that it will be paid for at that time. But I'm not including it in this budget, and it hasn't been included in any of the budgets in the last several years that it has existed. The OHA, who we are working very carefully with on all of our compliance requirements, we've developed a very good relationship with our OHA enforcement team. They were the ones that notified me of this to help me understand exactly what I just conveyed to you. And I would also like to make clear that we are not expecting any further violation notices or additional fines or penalties. We are complying with their enforcement orders and requirements very carefully. We're reporting to the public, and we are ultimately fixing the issues that created the enforcement issue in the first place. So I do hope that that helps address some of those concerns. What is your response to that, Counselor Cuthbertson or other counselors, now that I've reminded us of that discussion with OHA?
I have a question. So you said it was $7,500.
Yes.
We make payments.
My understanding is that you can, but I could ask. I don't know for certain, but I believe you probably could. I can ask.
Okay, if we make payments, would that show up on their website as us making progress on paying it off? Or is it just show a number and that's all it shows?
I don't know. Would you like me to find out?
Think so?
Yeah, I'd
Sure,
like
that's
to,
part of the relations part of the budget.
Yes.
well, and the good faith part of it, I mean, let's do the right thing. How hard is it to do the right thing?
I mean, well, there's different ways to go about doing the right thing. We could look at making payments if that's an option, then.
Yeah.
I'd just like to, look at what we can do with it, but.
Or we can budget it in and make a commitment to them that they will receive it within this,
Right.
upcoming budget cycle season.
Do
So,
that, or maybe prepayments of 2,500 in the next three budget years. I don't know, I'm just,
Yeah.
whatever we can do, something. Since we've got goodwill built up with them finally, after all this time.
Right.
I would like to keep it and not want to shoot it all up again.
And also, please let me make clear that that same agency is the ones who funded the circuit rider who came out to support us. and they're aware of the situation. We've had this discussion directly. I've had this discussion with them directly. Please let me know how you'd like to proceed after I find the answers to your question.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate it.
TJ, and there's no mechanism to have that be waived or anything, work it out?
No, what they have told me, to be clear, that this is a federal requirement and a federal fine that the state is simply enforcing upon the city as the pass-through entity or the entity in charge of enforcing federal law. They've made it clear that the state was never given any enforcement mechanism to allow them to force the city to pay it. They did tell me it's a good idea to let them know as a time frame when it will be paid, so that can be communicated to the EPA. But right now, no, there's no way to request a waiver. There's no other mechanism there.
Thank you.
A great question.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Terribly optimistic. Yeah,
I personally don't like the fact for the link and it shows on the website for all, everybody to see. That does not reflect on us at all.
Any further questions?
So do you need an answer from us of how we'd like to proceed now, or is that for city council session?
Right, that is for city council. I will go ahead and find the answer on the OHA question on whether or not they can take payments and what that looks like. I'll respond to council. I don't need any action from the council tonight.
Understood, thank you.
We could probably start paying a fund just to gather it up. We can't make payments, pay ourselves a fund. So we'll go with the 7,500.
Yeah, because,
No, go ahead.
and, because like they said, they'd like a date or something, so they are asking for something from us. So if we can say, we've gone this budget cycle, we've made a fund, we're gonna be making regular payments into the fund or whatever, so that we can clear this up, you know? And we can explain that to them and actually show that it's in the budget thing. I mean, that's still good faith moving forward. That's all for me personally that I would like to see happen, is that we're walking the walk.
Thank you. They want to see us fix the problem, and we're doing that by receiving this grant, by working with the engineers, by identifying how we're going to fix the water treatment plant itself, and by working with OHA directly. They're very pleased with that. That's what the primary thing that they want to see us do is make the changes that created the problem in the first place. And I suspect that if you were to do that now, and then let them know that that payment would come sometime after that point, once you get past the financial challenges of that lift, I suspect that they'd be open and very open to that discussion.
Okay, that sounds good. I know we don't have anything else on the agenda, but I'm gonna throw it open anyway. Is there anything else that we want to discuss at the work session? We don't make any decisions. Anything else that we need to discuss? Or TJ, do you have anything else we want to discuss?
At this time, my primary focus was the budget discussion. Is there anything else council would like to discuss?
When is the first budget meeting?
So our first budget committee meeting will be, one moment here. We will meet on the 26th. And so that notice is on the website and has been noticed in the newspaper. You all will be receiving an email from me tomorrow on this. As a quick update, today was my first essentially full day back to working on city business without significant interruption. And so you will be getting that update from me tomorrow.
Great, thank you.
I have a question for you too.
Yeah. We'll do budget first, then we'll do a short council meeting.
If we want to make an appointment with you, would you prefer we just email it to you?
Yes, please feel free to email or call or text. We can find a time that works with our calendars. You could also use my booking page if you want to. My calendar is up to date, but I like to have it more personal. Feel free to call me.
Can we come visit?
What was that?
I said, can we come visit? I'm sure the weather's better.
No, you could cook an egg on my sidewalk out here. I'm dying. It's 94 degrees today. I want to come home.
Yeah, it's just his city number. Yep, I will take care of it.
Going back, TJ, to the getting the budget in a spreadsheet form, when do we usually get that?
So what you'll receive, typically the budget is distributed in PDF format as a printout of the Excel spreadsheet. I haven't ever had, it's very interesting. I've never actually had anybody ask for the Excel version, but I'm more than happy to provide an uneditable version that you all can view from Office 365. You all have Office 365 as a part of your email addresses. So I've got no issues with that. The budget will be available 1 week before the first meeting. So on the 19th, the budget will be visible and available for both the public and the committee to view.
Is that the 19th of May or June?
That's going to, I'm sorry, what, Amy?
You were saying the budget would be available on the 19th. Are you talking about May 19th?
Yes.
Or
I am.
June? Okay, May 19th.
Yes. Yep. So a week and a day from today, we'll kick off the first budget committee meeting being the 26th. And that's, of course, recall because the 25th is a holiday. So we moved the council meeting a day forward. We also, of course, moved the budget committee a day forward for the same reason.
What else? Okay, well, I'm gonna mention, we have the Tri-County Business Expo on Thursday. It's gonna be out here on the street here in front of the community center and the post office. We will talk about the post office next expo.
Not our problem.
From 4 to 7:30, which is on Thursday. And then the festival is on Saturday from 10 to 6. And I'll probably have lost my by then, but you know, I'll be there. Anything else before I adjourn us?
Quick one.
Yeah. All right, TJ, I'm gonna go ahead and adjourn us.
Basically one item.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
TJ.
Yeah.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye.
I show you guys.
Oh,
Okay.
alrighty then. So what is he now, president of the post office?
No, he moved up again.
What's he doing?
He's going back to work.
Oh.
Going back